Okay, an absolutely brilliant week in the Premier League. Kicks off at 12:30 on Saturday at the London Stadium. It's West Ham versus Chelsea. The match odds from Paddy Power, 6-1 West Ham, 100-30 the draw, 4-9 Chelsea. Mark Langdon, are Chelsea a good thing?
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't go steaming into the 4-9. I wouldn't have said though. I mean, if you have a look at West Ham, I mean, to play so badly against Everton 4-0 and then put up, really spirited performance, albeit in defeat at Manchester City 2-1.
I thought they were good.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, so I'm really struggling to know, what the sort of true West Ham is. Is it somewhere in between that, or did they just have, one of them games where Man City maybe weren't at it and it made them look better? So I was sort of steering clear of a lot of the sort of match-related markets. I thought Eden Hazard to score the first goal around about the 4-1 mark was fair enough, really. Chelsea are playing this 3-5-2 system now, which means he's almost alongside Morata. He's got 5 in his last 6 matches as well. He takes the pens. He's on a lot of the set pieces with free kicks as well. So he's playing his best football of the season, no doubt about that. And I think he's maybe if West Ham are struggling, it could be against a trickier player dribbling rather than a Morata type. For the West Ham centre backs, maybe preferring to play against a kind of physical striker. Somebody with the extra quality of Hazard might just be able to sort of tear them apart.
How does that formation change in? So you've still got the wing backs, you've still got 3 at the back, you've still got a central striker, but whereas you would have, say, Hazard and Pedro off him and then 2 grafting, you've now got
3. They've got 3 grafting and Hazard much closer to Morata because Hazard and Pedro used to play quite wide and then join in. Now Hazard is playing virtually sort of centre forward, and it just means that what it does mean is that Bakayoko or Drinkwater, whoever is that third one, they are actually big. You saw Drinkwater missed a few chances against Liverpool, so that would be the other one to check out, just if it's Bakayoko or Drinkwater there, because Fabregas and Kante sit, and it's up to the other one to try and make the third man run.
Is Bakayoko improving? You'll know full well that I was very disdainful of his early efforts.
I mean, he hasn't. He hasn't really. I mean, he hasn't been. He's been rotating him and Drinkwater sort of on a regular basis now. So it's probably not going to help him get into a rhythm because he missed the start of the season through injury. I just wouldn't rule him out of being a good player just yet. So that's for sure.
He's still. Why they've let us have Ruben Loftus-Cheek?
It took Modric sort of 6 months.
Of course it did. It takes a lot of players, doesn't it? Perez had a very quiet first year, didn't he, James?
Yeah,
a lot of players who've come on to become legends this league. It takes them a while. What do you like in West Ham Chelsea, James?
Yeah, as Mark said, it's a tricky one given the context. And West Ham still kind of early days under Moyes and did better than expected at City, but still lost, and that's a 9th defeat in 15. Their only wins have come against Huddersfield and Swansea, and this is obviously a very different test. I thought possibly draw half-time, Chelsea full-time. West Ham are just purely focusing on staying solid in these kind of games, I think. And they took a shock lead at Man City just before half-time. But like Mark, I had Hazard down 7-5 anytime goal scorer. 10 goals in his last 13 for club and country, and as Mark says, he's such a tricky, dangerous player, and West Ham fairly depleted defence. I think he could be too sharp for them.
The 5:30 game is Newcastle versus Leicester. It's it's not. It's 8-5 Newcastle, 9-5 Leicester, and 9-4 the draw. Again, the feature of Saturday's matches is just how close they are. The only 2 teams that are odds on are Tottenham and Chelsea. This game, first of all, quick, they played for both clubs, Newcastle-Leicester.
Newcastle-Leicester.
Paul Kitson, before your time.
Yeah, that would have been.
Who else? Who else?
I feel like it's a vintage.
No, it might not be a very rich seam. It's not. We're doing Arsenal-Southampton later. That and just say any player. Can't you? Okay, then, James, you go first. Newcastle v Leicester. What's the outcome going to be?
I feel like I'm kind of following Leicester over a cliff in these kind of fixtures. I'm just looking. They've drawn at Stoke, Bournemouth, Huddersfield, and West Ham. I think I'll probably back them in every single one of those games. And this is a similar type, so I'm slightly wary about them. I don't rate Newcastle really. I actually had a little bet on them to go down at 11-2 earlier in the week. But yeah, as I said, don't really trust Leicester's defence. I'm looking at it, kind of Leicester win and both teams to score at 4-1. A small play there. Leicester have only kept 1 clean sheet away from home. Had a couple of good home wins, obviously, but I mean Spurs missed some fantastic chances in that defeat. And Newcastle scored against Manchester United and Chelsea. Scored first, in fact. and came from 2-0 down to draw at West Brom. So they're starting to find the net a little bit more regularly. But I still think Leicester are set up really nicely to play away from home. So Leicester win and both teams to score. I'm hoping for an exciting one in this.
Leo?
I'm just going to go Leicester, draw no bet. Probably the most confident selection of all of the Saturday Premier League ones. Just don't see Leicester losing this game. I mean, James has alluded to the draws, particularly away from home, that have maybe held them back in terms of pushing up the Premier League table. But I mean, you have a look at the teams they've lost to this season. These are the only sides that have beaten Leicester: Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester City. Don't see Newcastle have won one of their last 10 matches. That a drab 1-0 against Crystal Palace, from a set piece late on. Don't see them having the kind of guile really to be able to create that much against Leicester. And Leicester have only lost one of their last 10. Mahrez and Vardy are, if not sort of back to the very best of their title winning, they're not far off it, them two.
Mahrez is playing like a shop window merchant.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he gets a lot of stick, Mahrez, but actually, I mean, of all the players, Sanchez wanted to go and it took him a while to get back into the Arsenal team. Coutinho's had a couple of little breaks out of the Liverpool side. I mean, Mahrez has kept playing despite not wanting to be at Leicester anymore. And maybe that kind of attitude will actually endear him to somebody looking to sign him. He is, like you say, I think, playing for a move, but that's no bad thing if you want to back Leicester. They're pretty strong defensively. Puel's come in and done a solid job so far. They look pretty strong in midfield with Ndidi and Ibor in there. Don't see them losing the game. I do wonder whether Puel actually sends his team out to win enough matches, and that was the accusation at Southampton. But I definitely think they're good enough to avoid defeat. If there is to be a winner, I think it'll be them.
Okay, as you know, we whiz through the non-televised 3 p.m. Saturday games now. Thanks for all your feedback on that. We know a lot of people have said that they really enjoy this feature, so it's a real quick-fire tip fest here. Amanda, you're going to read out the prices, you're going to give us your tip, and then the boys will have their say. So we'll start with Burnley versus Watford. How do you bet, Amanda?
Well, just looking at the prices here, Burnley are priced up at 6-4. The draw is 11-5, and we have 2-1 about Watford. I'm going to go with a low-scoring Burnley win here. It's currently priced up at 6-4.
6-4 for Burnley for Amanda. Who for you, James?
I've got 1-1 correct score in this one.
1-1 correct score. Mark?
Yeah, I've got a draw. I think Brady's injury could be a blow for
he's
Burnley.
a big player for them.
He is very important for them.
Right, 3 o'clock, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Amanda.
Evens for Palace, Bournemouth 11-4, and the draw priced up at 12-5. Again, it's going to be a low-scoring affair for me here, and I'm going to back the draw priced up at 12-5 as mentioned.
Mark Langdon?
I'm going to go Crystal Palace. I think they are definitely improving. Not sure about Bournemouth at all this season. Very inconsistent.
James?
I like both teams to score in this one.
Okay, why?
Just
think they will?
think both teams will find the net.
Excellent.
Both playing with a bit more confidence.
Fine. Huddersfield, Brighton. This is a tricky one, isn't it, Amanda?
Yeah, it is. I'll come back to it. It's actually one of my naps as well, but I'm going to go with Brighton and under 2.5 goals at 4-1.
And it's 13-8 Huddersfield, 15-8 the draw, 2-1 Brighton. James, what's going to happen?
Yeah, Brighton draw no bet, but not with a great degree of confidence.
Mark?
I had the draw as well. It is quite short, but understandably so. I think these two teams are just at a rocky patch, haven't they?
Okay, Swansea 13-8, West Brom 15-8, 2-1 the draw. Mark Langdon, what's going to happen here?
I'm going to go for Swansea. I just can't have West Brom being almost favourites away from home against anybody, even a very bad Swansea team. Last chance saloon for Clement as well, I think.
James?
Over 2.5 goals. Neither of them are defending very well.
They changed the rules. Is it 5 hours now this match? Bloody hell. Didn't expect that. Amanda, what are you going for here?
I'll go with a West Brom win here. Good optimism now under Parry. We'll see if that keeps it up. And they're 15-8, of course, as you mentioned, Bruce.
Okay, right. Tottenham are 1-4 against Stoke. It's 5-1 the draw and 11-1 the Potters. Amanda, what's going to happen here?
Spurs to win 2-0 for me. Priced up at 11-10.
11-10 Spurs to win 2-0. James, what do you like at Wembley?
Yeah, possibly 2-0 Tottenham.
Okay,
I think
and
Stoke are good opponents.
I was going to go for Stoke +2 on the handicap. I mean, Tottenham, even when they've won, apart from Liverpool in the Premier League, it's been pretty hard work. 1-0 against Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. Couldn't beat Burnley, couldn't beat Swansea, so couldn't back that 1-4.
Let's get the naps.
This will not be beaten.
Amanda, away you go.
Well, we mentioned, of course, the 3 o'clock match, Huddersfield against Brighton. 4 defeats in a row now for Huddersfield, which you may have mentioned. They haven't had that fire under them since that 4-0 hammering, as you mentioned, to Bournemouth. They have conceded 26 goals this season, half of those in their last 4 matches alone. But Brighton, of course, as we know, they have been picking up the points when they can, but they haven't been firing in the goals either. They've only scored 1 in the last 3, and that was a pen. So I am going to go with a Brighton win, but I'll go with under 2.5 goals, which is at 4-1.
Brighton to win 1-0 or 2-0 effectively. James, what's your net?
I'm going for Derby to win at Barnsley in the Championship. Barnsley are kind of just about keeping themselves out of trouble, beating their fellow strugglers, but they lost 7 out of 7 against teams in the top 8, and Derby are now up there into the playoff places. I think they should stay there. Won 3 of their last 4 away games. Most recently was 3-0 at Middlesbrough, and I think they're just ticking along nicely and should be too strong there.
Okay, Watford are my cliff team of the moment. I'm going to follow them at 2-1 at Burnley. And Mark?
Atletico Madrid away to Real Betis. Atletico, before the 1-1 against Chelsea, which was a good result, albeit it knocked them out of the Champions League, they'd actually won 4 games in a row. They had 40 shots on target in those 4 matches. They seem to have sort of found their best form, I think it's fair to say. Betis knocked out of the Copa del Rey 5-3 by Cadiz at home, which was a disastrous result against a local lower league, lower league rival. They've only taken 2 points from their last 5 La Liga matches. They've conceded 15 goals in their last 5 home games. They can't keep clean sheets. If Atletico get their noses in front,
what price are they?
They're a shade of odds on. You can around about the sort of 4 to 5, 8 to 11 mark.
Lovely. Let's look at Super Sunday next.